Hello there, and welcome to GitGud. It is another week, another month, wherever the hell we are. Time is all an illusion. I am Bruce, and I'm here, as always, with Magnus. Magnus, how are you doing?
Very good, very good.
I am checking.
Busy, but
You're busy, yes, which is good.
yeah. Mhm.
I am checking the calendar right now, and it says right here that it is 3 weeks until Golden Demon 2025 EU.
Yes.
Where has
Well,
the time
basically
gone?
on the day, right?
On the day, yeah. 3
Yeah.
weeks to the dot. So I want to start with something that's been bugging me.
Okay.
I have seen now a few separate posts from a few separate people, all of whom I would say are quite accomplished painters, saying things to the effect of, well, it's 3 weeks out, I should start something.
Yeah.
Is nonchalance about time remaining the new meta? That is my question to you.
I think well, there are some people who definitely I would say are either overestimating their own abilities or very confident in them. Yeah. And then there are probably some people who say, well, I should start something knowing that they already, prepped it and primed it and maybe got some paint on, but it's more fun to say, well, I should start a thing. That could be a thing too. I think um, for most people, the time they can kind of, dedicate to painting, uh, gi- giving yourself 3 weeks for a piece for a golden demon is kind of taking the piss. I mean, I'll be happy, you know, being beat by Arno when he spends 2.5 days on a piece, of course. I mean, uh, I don't necessarily think that it is like okay, so time is everything, but it kind of is like, you know, I would say finishing a project in a full month, you would need to do a lot of painting.
Yes. Yeah. It is. That is, I'm not going to have a job for a little bit. My job is going to be the painting. And also, probably, I'm not going to sleep for a significant period of time, or I'm going to survive on minuscule amounts of sleep.
Yeah.
As a warrior, this is kind of baked into my being.
Yeah.
I can't fully imagine that mindset, but hey, I will be keenly looking out for all of those people's entries and making a judgment on whether they were telling the truth or whether this is just some clever marketing that I've got pulled into.
I think there is something else to be said that this was about 40 days out, I think, when Nicholas, who I speak to somewhat regularly, was yet to put paint on a like project he really wants to bring too, because he feels like it is the competition for it, has a new idea in mind. So going to push it for example, Adepticon, can be like feeling a bit weird because you already have the next one kind of rummaging around. So I think that was kind of like the important part for him, was that he wanted to actually bring it here. And that was 40 days out, I think, or maybe like 37 or something like that. And um I think he actually kind of had an approach that I quite liked in terms of, you know, getting everything prepped and ready to put some paint on, right? Then you sit down for your first session and you feel it. So now you're like, you know what? Does it feel like this project speaks to me? Like, you can kind of, maybe not the first session, but at least 2 or 3 sessions in, you can kind of tell, is this one of those where the ball is rolling, where I have clear ideas and I actually get to execute on them? Um, because let's be frank, it's much easier to dedicate the time and energy for something where um, you're feeling good about it. It's not that you can't finish a project that is a bit of a struggle project, but if you're pressed for time, then it becomes an issue, I think.
Yeah, it's then kind of dragging on both your time, your abilities, and your psyche, because it's
Yeah,
just like, fuck, I've got to paint this goddamn thing
yeah,
again.
yeah,
And when
yeah.
stuff's not working, I mean, that's always that thing with painting where you have that sense of momentum. And when it's
Yes,
when it's singing and you're just like, this is the greatest feeling in the world. I can do this all day forever. And then there's
yeah,
others where it's just like, oh God, I just got to
yeah.
get through this. And I think you can feel those things, but feeling them in combination with a deadline and a competition is
Yes.
where I leave my happy place and enter the dark place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I it's such a funny thing because um I kind of get it on every project. Like there will be some kind of sticking point almost always.
Mm.
It's I think I've mentioned it before, but it probably is why I love the Trugget so much is that I didn't have it. I just wanted,
Interesting.
yeah, I just, for the entirety of the project, I just liked seeing the progression. I liked going through the motions. I wasn't like, oh, dang, I need to sit down and do this thing. Um, it can also be like, I think it's a headspace thing too.
Mm.
So kind of thinking specifically on that project, it was a matter of like me working the first month on it before last year's spiel. Everything was wrapped up. I had a full month. Content was made. Entries were created. I just got to do my thing. I didn't have to really like video anything. I could just do that.
Mm.
Um, and then the rest of the project was right after Spiel, where I was, super inspired, super motivated, wanting to push more, wanting to finish this thing. So I think that is probably some of the reason. Another
Interesting.
is of course subject and rendering and colors and all of that it does play in. But I think some of it um, for that specific model was probably also like timing or headspace.
Yeah. It's, I will say one of the things that you said to me has continued to rattle around in my brain, and I found it actually quite useful in these situations. You were using it in the context of NMM, but I think I've begun to apply it every time I kind of feel a little bit stuck, which is you treat it like a puzzle. And
Yes.
if you just reframe it, you're not stuck. It's just like it's just a puzzle, and you're maybe approaching it with the wrong solution. There's
Mm,
a few times I've run into that, and just by thinking it that way, I've realized, oh, I'm painting this wrong, or I've thought about colors wrong, and I just need
mm,
to change this, this, and this, and suddenly, like you don't get frustrated because I think sometimes we take it quite personally, and we're like,
yes.
oh. I'm struggling at this bit. This must mean I'm a bad person and a bad
Yeah.
painter and all those horrible emotions. But actually, if it's just a puzzle, then maybe you don't have the solution, and maybe that's a good opportunity to speak to someone, get some feedback, which can unlock things and stuff like that. So I
There's
do think
also
that's useful.
another important thing here is that um, sometimes it can be quite hard to solve a puzzle if you're looking specifically for that next piece you want to put down.
Mm,
a- a- I would say at least maybe 70% of the time, if I have, okay, maybe I can't really get that cloak to be the way I want to, or whatever it is. As soon as I paint other things, it almost always kind of solves itself. It's like, okay,
mm,
now you can see more of the picture. You have some other colors to balance with. You maybe okay, you use the texture here, here, and here. So I don't want to use the same or whatever. And it kind of almost the problem solves itself in some sense. So sometimes when I'm stuck, it's a matter of painting
just
something else, like
yeah, it's the Dark Souls
different.
boss conundrum. Sometimes you can't keep fighting the boss. You have to just leave the boss for a little bit
Yeah,
and come back, and that suddenly you could do it. Like
yeah,
your brain's always churning over these things. I mean, we've
Yeah.
digressed already. This is the thing. I know a lot of other miniature podcasts, they go on very strange tangents. We've seemingly just dived straight into painting, which maybe speaks to our excitement for GD. This is gonna be interesting. I think that's the core thing. We spoke a little bit. We spoke with Mark Mazclans about, obviously, this feels like a summoning of the Titans, and each of them is emerging from the sea, headed towards Essen.
Mm.
It's also interesting because we don't have many data points for Germany. We have last year, and that has been
Yeah.
it. And even if we compare with last year, things have changed. There is no longer Warhammer Underworlds as a category. Last year, Diorama and Duel were joined. They are now split.
Yeah.
There is a few shifts and changes happening. Obviously, we've had kind of Adepticon as a middle ground to kind of try some of these things out, but this feels like this is going to be a big show with a lot of heavy hitters and a lot of really, really cool minis. So I guess in that context, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm incredibly excited. It's probably the competition I'm going into where I feel um like the least confident.
Hmm.
Not that I mean, not in my own abilities, but in like placing. It's it's a strange feeling knowing that you bring your best and it is better than what you brought before. Still being like, this is not a territory where I think, oh, okay, well, it's pretty safe at all. And it's not to say that I, I was last spiel a year ago. I was, of course, um, hoping for the best, not really knowing what I was going into. Also meant that I probably could, you know, allow myself to dream bigger,
Hmm.
almost like because you don't know. Like it's you're not afraid of getting slapped if you never were, right? So,
Hmm.
uh, uh, I mean, me dreaming and I'm not bringing things that are like worse than I did then. I'm bringing better things,
Hmm.
but it's a matter of now having seen more competitions, a couple of competitions in open format, going to Adepticon. Yeah, I mean, I'm very unsure what to expect.
Hmm.
Is I, I I mean, of course, I'm going there and hoping for a trophy. I mean, uh, it would be weird not to, but I think for me going from it because it's like almost like a height, a dip, and then a height again,
Hmm.
like going from Spiel into Adepticon, and Adepticon is smaller, and generally we see it as a little bit less fierce. And then going into a Spiel where consensus is that like tons of people really wanting to get those. It's not like people didn't at last year's Spiel or Adepticon for that matter, but you know the heavy hitters. We talk about it all the time. Really having to um, bring your best if you wanna stand a chance at all. So you can't really skimp on anything.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this bears out, but my sense last year, and I am not any great Golden Demon historian, as Albert Moreto Font will attest to, but
Oh.
there was kind of a feeling last year that, oh, this is new. It's here.
Mm,
Is it going to still be here? Oh,
mm,
maybe we'll go along. And maybe you had some UK folks that like, oh, I'll be back in the UK next year. Or maybe some people across Europe who were like, yeah, it'll change, I'm sure. And so there was a
mm,
feeling that almost like this was a trial run. And yeah, of course,
mm.
big names came, and there was some wonderful work on
Yeah.
display, but wasn't necessarily the feeling of, oh, this is our home. This is the home of GD now, and everyone's coming and collapsing together on this event. And obviously, there's still a little bit of weirdness. There are still some large names that aren't coming for a variety of
Mm.
reasons. But it feels certainly that this year is a bit more solidified and a bit larger as a result.
Yeah, I think a bit of what was at play possibly last year was the fact that it did move locations.
Mm,
So if you're kind of like, I don't know if Germany is really where I want to go and compete, maybe you're kind of pushing it a year.
yeah.
But then next year again, it's like back to Germany. So do you want to push it 2 years? Like even in within community, we have people who were saying, "Well, I'll be back when it's in the UK again,"
Mm,
and they made a change or had a change of heart, right? And it's
yeah.
like, you know what? Maybe I should just go because you'll never know when it is back, right?
Yeah.
Even though the rumors and everything, but I mean, there are so many of those.
There's a lot of rumors. I hear a lot,
uh,
both that it is immediately coming back, will come
uh,
back in a few years, and will never come back.
mm,
So we shall see.
yeah, 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 yeah.
It's, I mean, regardless, I have been studying the toilet list of
Yeah.
entrants.
Yeah.
I now get
The
all my gold,
famous
the famous toilet list, the famous
or
shit
infamous.
list. I have now two sources of Golden Demon information: the Golden Demon Compendium and
Yes.
a random list on a toilet wall,
Yeah.
which is all you really need, I think.
Yeah. I
Is
love it so much. I think it is like the perfect meme almost, like
oh god,
someone making a list of people that they have heard rumors coming or confirmed coming and what categories, and then writing a list on a toilet wall in their home. It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. It's so kind of cooked that it's hard not to love it.
yeah. Or I want to meet toilet list writer man. I would
Mm.
like to meet you at Essen if possible. If you're not
Yeah, I don't
going,
think he goes.
for God's sake, that's even worse.
It is. It is.
Right. Well, maybe Toilet List Man can send a representative who we can meet and talk this through. But
Yeah.
um, I guess there's a few things I want to ask you about Golden, which is aside from
Mm.
your things. I think we've both talked about good minis are coming. I think I have an issue where I I wonder if you're the same, actually. My assumption is in a void of information, I assume
Mm.
that everyone is bringing just the most stunning, jaw-dropping, like
Mm.
perfect pieces known to humanity.
Yeah.
And because we always look at our own work with that critical eye, you're like, well, I don't have that, so this will be a weird old time. Um,
Yeah.
but it's also you thinking about I get to see all that weirdly perfect,
Yeah.
stunning work, which is pretty goddamn exciting.
Mhm.
We're going to get onto artists in a bit, but I want to talk about categories.
Mm.
And if there are any categories that you are quite excited by, that either you know the competition is going to be particularly fierce, or there's some entries that you know that are going in, or just people that you like with them. Is there anything that is really getting your juices going?
Yes, a couple. I think, um, so one is, of course, AOS single, because I think it is a bit, um, almost special, in terms of I I don't wanna sound like a douche, but 40K single and AOS single are traditionally the biggest and the hardest ones.
Yes.
I personally like the AOS one better because it feels less like you're painting a man in robot armor in blue or green or red or whatever. So, at least to me, there is a bit more variation in terms of colors and selections and stuff like that. I know the lore is also upheld in AOS single, of course, but it feels a little bit freer.
Hmm.
Like if you pick a Space Marine hero, I painted Asriel. I mean, a lot of the color choices are made for me. I
Hmm.
of course get to tweak it within and blah blah blah, but a lot of it is made. And also, if you wanna do Fuegan in orange, a lot of him is going to be orange,
Hmm.
right? So it feels like you get to do a little bit less just because of that.
Hmm.
It isn't like a full truth or anything, and it's not shitting on the category. I painted for it too. But that is why I think I am a little bit more in love with AOS single because it's like the hard category where people go all out on a single mini, create a small vignette of something and or some kind, and um, well, then duke it out, right?
Yeah.
So of course I'm going to be really excited about that one. I think it's maybe actually AOS large is overtaking it for me this year because I think there's something special about seeing these big monsters and knowing the work and the choices and the whatnot because it's almost like it's the same as AOS single,
Hmm.
but it's just more canvas, right?
Yeah.
So
And obviously,
and you
it's
see that.
interesting that the last two Slayer swords have come from AOS Large.
Yes, yes, yeah. I wonder if we see another one. Um, well, history states that it's probably going to be an AOS thing. If we look back, I think didn't Albert say it was like the last 17 or
It was a
something
very,
crazy?
yeah, it was a large amount. Obviously, you have Neil
Mm,
Hollis's Dark Angel that was kind of a
yes.
bit of a combo breaker. But other than that, like, there's been a predominance of AOS. I do
Uh,
think I like 40k. I love a Space Marine.
huh?
But those AOS models excite me a lot more
Yeah.
than the 40k ones, and it is a very interesting thing, obviously, because 40k is the larger game by a huge fraction. But
Hmm.
I think as the more painterly display crowd seem to look at those AOS and start salivating.
Yeah.
Um, and I understand why. I was idly browsing through some AOS, and I was like, God, these are so goddamn cool. Like, I want to paint all of them. So
Yeah, and the same is true for large, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
40K large, it's okay. It's not like that, but it's also large in vehicle. It's why every time we talk about it, I say, well, I actually would like for it to be just monster. So you can have a 40K monster or an AOS monster, and then you can, put the vehicles in their own category. Even take the horse heresy vehicles or whatever, put them in their own category. So you don't split about or split it down the middle in terms of like game or time,
Mm.
but in category in terms of monster or vehicle. But well,
And you
I'm
get
not
that
making the rules.
interesting. You're not. Jesus.
Unfortunately, no.
I mean, if you look at last spiel,
Mm.
the 40k large were three vehicles, and the AOS
Yep.
large were three monsters, and
Yes.
you do get a split that way. It would be nice to see because there are some cool war machines in
Yep.
AOS, and there are some cool monsters in 40k, but
Yeah.
they kind of fall a little bit out of place. But okay, so AOS single is on your radar. AOS monster,
Yeah.
it's
And
not
large.
called that. AOS large, AOS monster. What is there anything else?
I think those are the two that I'm looking the most forward to. Then I think Old World is quite um, interesting.
Hmm.
It's probably because it looks a lot like AOS.
Do you
I
just
mean,
love AOS, really? This is
yeah, I do. I
you just love
really love the
fantasy.
models. Yeah, yeah. So, well, I came from Dungeons and Dragons models
Yeah, you little
in the
nerd
early days.
with your role playing.
Um, yeah, yeah. So that one I'm quite excited for too to see what people bring. Um, Also because that one and Horus Heresy, um, it's exciting for me to see um w- what what will people actually be bringing
Mm,
because both of them you have the freedom to go just within the universe.
yeah.
You can take a single model, you can take a unit, you can take a war machine, you can take a tank, you can take whatever, right?
Mm,
So you have a large spread of what you can choose from um, within those universes, and yeah, that's why I want to see if like a lot of people choose maybe a single model because it's I don't want to say easier, but it's at least less time consuming if you want to paint it like with a really high quality.
yeah.
So it tends to be, but I wonder if people are trying to be a bit more than that
Mm.
in both of them.
Interesting. I think I'm with you on the AOS single and large. In my brain, they're just kind of like the same thing, because it's like, I'm going to see some goddamn cool fantasy
Yeah.
models. There are, I mean, looking at the toilet list, the single source of information, there are some murderous people within
Yeah. Yeah.
AOS,
Yeah.
so you know it's going to be really good. And yeah, those models bring me great joy. I personally am really looking forward to Horus Heresy. I don't
Mhm.
know what it is with Horus Heresy. I really like it. I really like the aesthetic. I like the way that people paint it, a bit different from 40k. And
Mhm.
it's one of those weird categories, because it's just, it has to be in universe, not it's a
Mhm.
small model, large model, etc. You do see like a variety of things. And that was
Yeah.
borne out a little bit at Adepticon. We had two beautiful smaller models, and then LK's Fulgrim, like just
Yes.
very different, very cool. I think regardless, one of the things I would really, really want to see this this time in Spiel is avoiding the problem we had at Adepticon, where you have a category with 3 finalists. So it's kind of known.
Yes.
It's just a question of, I want to see 10 people up for each and everything. And you get a sense then that depth of the work is really quite like there, and the people are, everyone is hitting this majestic standard.
Yeah.
My
I'm
other,
hoping.
go on.
Oh, sorry.
No,
Yeah, I'm
go.
hoping that um we see a lot of entries even in the traditionally smaller categories.
Yes.
I think we were um quite blessed last year at Spiel actually that both like diorama, dual because it was split
Combined.
or combined,
Yeah.
diorama dual, and we also saw something like Necromunda have a lot of entries. Blood Bowl had a fair few entries, stuff like that. I I hope it's going to be the same. I agree completely. Even even 5, I like 6 and up
Mm.
in
Yeah.
terms of finalists. I think that's a nice number. So you have at least as many demons as non-demons within the finalists,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I just, I mean, it was said at Spiel last year, and I've always viewed it this way. It's like, okay, well, finalist means you're at that level, then they just pick 3 from it. But everyone there is like painting at this, and just seeing that stage full is very exciting. And those are the people that are inspiring people and doing these wonderful paint jobs. So I hope we see lots of people hit that
It
finalist level.
also does another thing where it feels so. Let's say there are only 3 finalists. They are all demons.
Hmm.
It feels like you're cutting a level. It feels like, okay, so anyone who took commended feels like like everyone in their mind, commended is so far from a demon.
Hmm.
But sometimes they only picked 3 finalists. They
Yeah.
were the demons, right? So now it feels like the gap between is just like massive, right?
Interesting.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what another reason why I would like that, around 6 finalists, 7 in some of the big ones, 9 or 10 is fine because it creates like a real level, right?
Yes.
Finalist is a like so you have the demons, the finalists, the commenders, the notable, so on and so forth, right?
Did we have last year in AOS single 6 commanded AOS single? I don't know. It
No, much more. It
was
was
it. It
9 or
felt like,
10.
yeah, it felt like quite a few people, because I remember
I
obviously
think it was.
the
Yeah.
winners. We had. I'll pull the data. I just remember
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, I know these people. Isn't this exciting?"
Yeah.
I was too busy
I'm
screaming.
pretty sure in both AOS single and 40K it was something 8, 9, 10, something like that.
I mean, it's fine, because the organizing committee have been waiting on this podcast, and now that we've said,
Yeah.
okay, more than 6, they'll be like,
Mm.
right, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
my one thing that I would do, my other category, if I'm allowed
Mhm.
another one, which I'm quite excited by, is diorama.
Oh.
I always think there is incredible skill in putting together diorama pieces.
Yes.
It's become lately the preserve of what is Andy Wardle doing, which is also quite exciting. Certainly with his push in terms of storytelling, but for me, it's always this interesting question of how have you injected that narrative, and seeing what's been kind of come out with this, and it seems like a very, very hard category as well. So I'm very excited seeing what makes the cabinets in diorama, because the toilet list is quite bare for diorama.
Yes, and that's so we need to realize that the toilet list itself is not extensive, right? So it's not everyone going at all, and it's not a complete list of winners. And if you're not on there, you won't win anything. Um, I really hope that a lot of like people that didn't win before will end up winning because it's. Oh, of course, not all of them because I need to win something too. But it's just to say that it's not like just because you're not on a list or not in the scope of someone, you can absolutely still win something. And that is sometimes even more exciting having winners that you didn't really expect were winners, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think like having uh you just shouldn't be blind only looking at the toilet list. But I do
No, it's all I care about.
kind yeah. But it is quick to be like, okay, so these are big names that are coming that someone at least compiled a list of and tried to organize in categories and whatnot, and you're kind of like one tracked into okay, who's going and what would they possibly bring and so on and so forth, not realizing that a lot more people who can really paint will go and not even, you know, they're just not on the list, not because of the lack of skill or anything, but maybe they just, you know, aren't on the radar of the person who did it, right?
Of the person that writes the toilet list. Absolutely.
Exactly. And but that still said that, I wonder how, so, diorama can be so much, right? It can be monstrous coming with a 2,000-hour massive diorama that took however long it took, right? And
Billion hours, yeah.
yeah, and it can be Andy Wardle with a couple of 100 hours still on a small thing. It can be someone um, spending a lot of time, someone spending not so much time. Um, I am a little worried that it's going to be meager because we had a year back a lot of people bringing dioramas, and I don't know how many people are like the diorama guy. Who's like, okay, I just always do dioramas, or who is like, oh, you know what, I'll switch it up. I think to me, at least, diorama is like the special one out of almost all of them because it's different.
Yes.
It's not hard to switch from 40K to Horus Heresy. It's basically the same. You're not, you know, stretching much even to go from um 40K into AOS. Doing a monster, it's a little bit different, but it's much of the same, just a little bit more of it. Like creating a whole scene, thinking about the narrative, composition, color choices, and then the actual painting is something different, right? Not that it isn't important on other pieces, but it is incredibly important in diorama.
And it was always kind of weird last year, obviously, because they were joined, Duel and Diorama.
Yeah,
Whereas Duel is like, okay, well, there is an element of storytelling in terms of the interaction of these two figures, but
sure,
ultimately, like,
sure.
that is it. And that is very different from, I mean, if you were to take Andy's piece from Adapticon, here is a quiet moment of reflection, not a battle scene, not a duel.
Yeah,
Like, you
yeah,
can't stack that up easily against Erka's wonderful piece with the Space Wolf. So it is. I see your point. I can see those two categories being a little barer, because there's maybe a sense of it being unknown. But they were full enough at Adapticon, so we keep
yeah,
the
yeah,
hope.
yeah.
Um,
Yes.
right, categories done. what about artists? Who is coming that
Yeah.
you're like, my goodness, I cannot wait to see this?
Well, first I want to say who's not coming that I'm super unexcited about. When Albert disclosed that Maxime wasn't coming after all, and I also had a secret hope that a robot would be coming
Hmm.
because I would like to see the work in hand, but alas, none of them are making it. So my heart wept
There
that
is
day.
there is always a hope, and I know
Yeah.
this is a hope that we maintained at Adepticon, that you'll
Mm,
just be at the cabinets and you'll hear stone cold entrance music, and they'll be rushing
mm,
in from that doorway with their minis in hand, ready to enter
yeah.
them. But it is a vanishing chance. I feel.
Yeah, unfortunately, it kind of is, and sources close to unnamed sources close to the people are saying, well, they won't make it. Uh, so that's a sad thing, especially because I think as much as it is a competition, um, I will always maintain that it should be a celebration of people's work,
mm,
right? So that means even though I would love to win, I would rather lose because of someone bringing something that is amazing and much better than my stuff, right?
mm,
So it's like I don't want to lose unfairly, but I also don't want to win because of a lack of competition,
yeah.
basically. So it is a bit sad when some of the bigger names and people you maybe look up to um, aren't going, but lots of people that we do enjoy the work of are coming.
Mm,
I think we're all waiting to see what Albert has been cooking. We have had the hints
a lot of
and,
hints,
yeah, a fair few hints
a lot
and
of palette shots in stories.
exactly palettes of colors, and, the man can build some anticipation, so, yeah, that is going to be one of the more exciting ones. What is it going to be? Um, looking really forward to seeing what both Arnau and Mark are bringing.
Mm,
Um, Arnau for the reason that he's always bringing bangers and he's more often than not spending much too little time on them. So let's see how he fares. I know he's pressed for time once again. Well, Mark too for what it's worth.
mm,
Um, and after we spoke with Mark, I really have been having in the back of my mind him saying that he's doing this expressive thing, but kind of,
yes.
you know, making it in the vein of what you would expect for Golden Demon. So now I'm super excited to see. Well, we know the subject, but how he ends up rendering it.
Mm.
So those are two that I'm really looking forward to, or three that I'm really looking forward to. The
It,
Catalan trio.
they can't be stopped, can they? As
No.
bloody Catalans, Jesus. The Spanish know a few things about painting. It, and even like so, there is. I think with the three of them as well as the anticipation of having no sense of what they're working on.
Uh,
Like not even a hint of the model, just a palette. With our now, it'll be what have I got in the back room that I can whip out and paint in 5 seconds. Um,
yeah. I love it when Albert says, "Well, it's going to be a surprise." It still is a surprise to Arnau because he
yes,
definitely isn't started.
surprise to everyone involved.
Exactly. Yeah, I really enjoy that.
Um, I think I am. I think I'd echo those names. There is, for me, a big excitement in what Erka is bringing this
Yes.
year, which is an unknown for me, but his pieces are the ones that I'm still thinking about a year later. From Essen, there's something about his style with these dramatic, sweeping lighting that I just adore, and so I'm very excited um, to see what he's bringing. At the same time. there is the modern force of nature that is Thibaut.
Yes.
Just came to Essen with some incredible pieces, came to Adepticon with some incredible pieces, and there's just the sense now of what the hell is that dude gonna bring out and wow us all with.
Especially because he likes to convert, right? So he likes
Yes,
to repost, convert, make it really his own thing. So it's going to be, yeah, very exciting to see exactly what it is and what it looks like. Mm-hmm.
you just know it'll be very happily and pleasant, and just go bang, and you go, fuck, that looks good. What a
Yeah,
bastard.
yeah.
Then I think in my list of the people I think are rad and really want to see, we talked about this, you and I, privately, but APS is
Yes.
bringing some goddamn heat. That boy,
Yeah.
which I'm only having seen his Blood Angel piece in the flesh. From what he's
Mm-hmm.
bringing, I'm really looking forward to seeing those other pieces in the
Yeah, he's
cabinet.
stepping into 40K single, AOS single, and Horus Heresy, I think it is.
Yeah, he's just, I'll do all the hard categories. I'll just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's going to be insane. It's the same for Nicholas, right? Where we're kind of like really excited to see what is he bringing, and can he keep the streak going, because he's had insane golden demons the past 3, 4 ones, or however many. So it'll be going to be exciting, seeing if he can keep the momentum going.
Yeah, I mean, Nicholas is a force of nature that I think
Yes,
we will actually be talking about for a long time, even after he stopped entering Golden Demon. It's kind of like,
probably.
like when people in the era of like these sporting greats who don't necessarily knew they were in the era of it. We were talking about this because I was doing a load of data scraping of the Golden Demon
Mm,
Compendium. Um,
yeah, yeah,
and the force of nature that is Denmark in recent years, which has been powered so much by Nicholas or NRM, if you
yeah,
don't know who the
yeah,
hell we're talking about. But he turns up and wins. It's that
yeah.
simple. And that shouldn't be possible in the modern era. And yet he just does it. He's like, yeah,
Yeah,
I will though. I'll just do it and it'll be great.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, bringing 3 things, winning demons with all 3, you know, done and
average,
dusted,
average comp.
back home. Yeah, it's pretty nuts. And it's like even the point he's at now, looking at his like achievements are kind of unfathomable.
Yes.
I think like it's crazy to like you can spike a golden demon competition for sure, but it's quite hard to keep it up,
Mm.
and it's quite hard to keep it up back to back. Remember, these are not competitions where um going to Spiel, for example, then Spiel another year after, or Adepticon 18 months after, bringing another 3, 4 things. No, these are 6 months in between, bringing 3, 4 things, something like that, and taking multiple demons. It's very impressive. Very, very impressive.
Yeah, there are some names, and I'd include Albert in this, where we almost take the view of, oh well, they've won a demon. It's just a question of what demon and what color, and that
Hmm.
must come with an incredible pressure. I know,
One would assume so.
yeah, well, I know we keep asking people, and they keep saying there's no pressure, but I'm calling some bullshit on this.
Uh,
It is,
yeah,
it
most
is.
people say, nah.
Nah, I'm easy. And then the heart. I want the heart rate data. That's what I goddamn want. You see that when the trophies come out. But no, that's right. I think the only two I would mention that we haven't is, I mean, as mentioned, because the Dio. I always want to see what Andy's bringing. He is
Yes,
his style. I
100%.
just adore. His
Yeah.
painting is superlative. So what he's bringing, and then the dark horse, the darkest of dark bearded horses, Mr. Eric Svensson.
Hmm.
I don't know what it's going to
Yeah.
be. Could be it's similar to Arnow. Probably start a week out with a Red Bull and a cigarette, bash it out, throw it in the
Yeah.
cabinets.
Nothing but Yeah, despise for the European scene.
Yeah,
I'll show them.
I'm gonna teach you goddamn Europeans a thing or two, which,
Mm.
I mean, there is something really quite exciting to me about the American scene. This is a slightly different topic of conversation, but it feels that scene is coming into itself in a different way. Now, one of the things that
Yeah.
I was not aware of was the deep legacy of American competitions and American Golden Demons and all of these things, which are very valid. But we're seeing Nova Capital Palette really come to the fore, and some of the incredible work there. It seems that a lot of these American painting communities that have historically been a little bit insular and separated are coming together and creating essentially new painting cultures. And the work that's coming out of America is incredible. And it's just a case of getting them across the pond so they can get it in the goddamn cabinets, I think. I think that's the only thing holding a greater American showing at Spiel down. It's just getting people across.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if it's like just like a cultural thing where it's not as foreign for you and I, for example, to travel to the US and enter a competition as it maybe is for them. Like travel overseas is like i- if you're a country of 360 million people and you have everything without in your own country, why would you then go overseas to do something, right? Whereas I'm looking at my country, looking out the window. Okay, well, I can almost see the sea, right? Because I'm at, you know, I could like arm's
At the
length. It's so
borders.
small.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 I can touch
both
both
sides.
borders. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, in a sense that it is quite small. So if I want to experience something, odds are I can't do it nationally, right? And I'm guessing a lot of Europeans like feel that even from the bigger countries, but it just means that it's not as foreign for maybe you and me to travel internationally than it is maybe for Americans, right?
Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll just see next year. Big American invasion. Eric brings them all over. We need to show these goddamn Europeans, shut them up once
Yeah.
and for all.
Yeah.
Quite excited
Yeah.
by that. That'd be fun.
I think we need to mention one more.
Go on, do tell.
I mean, we're really rooting for Liam to finish his big bad dragon, so we can have him bring a thing, and we shall see the level of you know satisfaction in his eyes if he thinks he hit the target or not, right?
I am going to slap Liam.
Okay, well,
I am sorry.
mm,
But as we have stated many times within
mm,
these hallowed podcast halls, think Liam is a goddamn amazing painter. I
yeah,
actually think he is. You would look at we talk about NRM and the awards performance.
mhm.
My personal view is there is no reason that Phoenix couldn't have a legacy like that if he just got the goddamn projects done. God damn it,
Mm.
Phoenix! Oh, it's a month
Yeah,
out. Now I'll start. Oh, it's a month out. I'll
right.
do the giant, biggest goddamn dragon in the world. Like,
Mm.
motherfucker.
I mean, for what it's worth, he started 2 months out, but also it's a project that needed 3 or 4.
3 or 4
So
years. Like,
yeah, no, I'm really excited to see um him finish it, and I'm excited to see if he hits his like goal in terms of like you can always keep on refining more time, more time on a project, but if he manages to get it to a point where he's like, okay, you know what, I like what I have here, right?
mm,
Which has to be the goal with some of these massive projects where, well, frankly, you will run out of time before you will reach a like a finish line, right?
it better get done. It better get.
It will be done. It will be done.
You just see Liam on site, haggard eyes, just I forgot my.
Yeah, and paint on his thumb because he's been painting in the hotel room.
Oh God. And then there'll be a nervy moment where he notices something wrong with the PC in the cabinets and gets it out
Has
and
to,
fixes it. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yes, of course, I continue to be one of Liam's biggest fans and wish him the very best.
Yes.
Motherfucker, can you start projects sooner, please, for the love of God? It won't happen, but we can
No,
hope.
no.
Too busy with all these other stuff. Okay. It is. I guess I want to talk a little bit about the legacy here of Golden Demon, because we have had in the past few, probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks, Mr. Albert Murato Font in our community has been taking us through a bit of a history of Golden Demon. And
Yeah.
I was an ignorant man when it comes to Golden Demon history. I was aware of it as a thing, but didn't know anything about it. Didn't know the history of some of the entries, and people talk about moments like Maxime Strogoth, etc. But you don't. If you weren't there, it can be very hard to get a sense of that. And so Albert has been going through the archives of his brain and picking pieces and giving us a kind of his narrative on what they meant and why they're important. What I shall do, if you're listening to this on YouTube or in your favorite pod feed, is I'll put a link to the PDF we've made of those entries so you can have a read, because I think they're really nice to read, and hopefully give everyone a sense of the legacy of Golden Demon. But it is striking to me how important Golden Demon has been for a very long time in terms of like the evolution of the hobby and the trend setting within it. I guess, do you feel that? Because I mean, you're still quite new to the hobby in some ways, Manus. So how do you view like Golden Demon and its legacy therein?
Yeah, it's a funny thing because exactly like you said, we knew it was a thing. Like we knew that some amazing pieces were entered through the years, and um because a lot of them are still talked about. Um but as the kind of, I guess, the scene, almost like it's a rolling thing where some of the older or old school painters, they fall off and new painters get in, and then at some point you've, like, most of the scene has actually changed, which means now you don't have a lot of connection to legacy. And it's it's unfair to say, well, you can just go through the for example, Golden Demon Compendium, or whatever archive, and you can look at the photos, because that says very little. If you weren't there, it's very, very hard, to the point of um, not possible to relate to. I think the real gift that Albert gave was um, putting some words on the the piece. So writing out, why does this stand out? Why is this important for the time? Because if you just see a photo, a lot of it you would look and you would think, well, someone could maybe do it better or as good today. Why is this so incredible? What I don't see it, right?
Yeah.
Um, Whereas some of them were truly revolutionary, right? Things we'd never seen before, or I say as a community, right? Because I didn't see them, but things that were never seen before in fantasy painting, right? Um, be it techniques, or um, compositions, or materials, or whatever, right? It's Yeah. So I really, it kind of opened my eyes to the fact that there is a reason why some of these guys from um that time, they keep Golden Demon in reverence like they do. Because it's very easy for me. Well, first Golden Demon, 2024. I've scrolled through compendium, and I have been a while back, but like it's still a scroll through. So when something changes, they say, okay, no more of this category, or merge these two categories, or you can't sculpt that thing, or you can't do base like this, or whatever it is. Like when something changes, it has almost zero effect on me. I can see the loss, like an objective loss,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
But the subjective loss, I have no emotion towards because I was not there.
Mm.
It has no like place in my heart because I've only seen the things that I've seen, and and the window is or whatever the scope is so small
Yes.
that to me it's like, well, maybe things change a lot, but also so be it. Follow the new rules.
Mm.
Whereas I can better understand why maybe if you are from the older generation
Yeah.
or like
No,
the old
the old bastards. Let's say it.
well, um, it would be like a real hurt, right?
Yes.
So at least it opened my mind in that way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's and even like understanding. For me, we talked about this bit like the podcast before us and last year, where the thing that we both crave is the unknown coming in and dropping a goddamn banger. It's like, yeah, I don't have an
Mhm.
Instagram. I'm just sick. I mean, that was City at MPO last year, and
Yeah.
I guess if you hadn't seen his work at MPO City at Spiel last year, yeah, just someone then dropping a banger, and then like, so the idea of an unknown coming and doing something incredible, and the one that sticks in my mind from the entries that Albert put together is that Youngbloods piece. Where it's like, this is the best Youngbloods entry ever. It's a converted Terminator. And it's like,
Mhm.
what the hell? Like, I imagine if I saw that,
Mhm.
I'd be like, oh, you've done what? Like, just knowing that history,
Mhm.
knowing how tricky those older models were to convert as well, and seeing that work and understanding it. And then pretty sure he said that that person then went on to win the Slayer Sword the next year.
Mhm. I'm pretty sure he did.
It's nuts. And those are the stories I kind of that make it feel special. Like, you know, back to back Slayer Swords, or, you know, this was the first time this had ever been done. That's exciting to me. And you know, there is maybe a little bit of, are those days now past
Mhm.
in what the competition is? And is that something that we should mourn? Which strikes up a very different conversation, but it is something I found really fascinating.
It also kind of explains why um so you and I are from the um you know new breed almost. Like we are newcomers to the scene. But there is a reason why for example someone like Albert wants Mark to come back, wants Maxime to show something because he's wanting some of that. He's wanting some of that. Okay, I know this person can really perform. And there's also something um, to be said about how many demons was it? Was it 5, 6,000 demons was given in total? Something like that. A huge number, right?
Hmm.
Because it's been since late 80s or whatever it was, 88, 89, first one, whatever.
Hmm.
But a huge amount of demons have been given. So having one demon is of course a special thing. But if you look in a like a in the grand scheme of things, something that can also be exciting is to see records being broken,
Yes.
people being like true masters of their craft. Like oh, that guy, whenever Ruben Martinez comes, he's going to take a goal or well, 2 out of 3 were goals into swords and then a gold. And it's like, that is exciting too, right?
Yes.
So there is something about the legacy, the weight of it, not just seeing, okay, new things, a new winner, a fantastic piece, um, another person really happy. That is a great thing. but I think I understand a bit better the force of nature that a person can be, just, always getting the gold in whatever, or like the cello having so many, or like NRM just crushing the competitions these days, and stuff like that, right?
Yes.
That is exciting too, right?
Yeah. No, appreciating the area you're in, having a bit of reverence for the history is, yeah, it's a good combination. So, like I say, I will pop the link to that document
Yeah,
down in the
yeah,
description. Please have a read. Please, if
yeah.
you get a
Everyone
chance,
should.
yeah, thank Albert for putting it together, because you can really see the passion that man
Yeah.
has, certainly for Golden Demon, and how infectious that is once you really begin to appreciate these pieces. Right, I'm done with Golden Demon. Yeah, anything else to say about Golden Demon, Max?
Well, I do. I mean, we've talked about categories. We've talked about artists showing up, all of these things. But really, the most exciting thing is that we get to go once more with people that are close to us,
Hmm.
and we get to hang out and talk about the minis and have some fun and sharing the memories, good and bad, all of these things. Um, and I think it's important to keep that in mind, because it becomes a lot of talk about who's winning what, and who would enter which things, and why are you excited to see that one, and so on and so forth. And really, um, that is just the excuse to go and, have some fun and enjoy a weekend away with people that are uh, passionate like you are, right?
Yeah, and I think we found with our community, and this is my perspective, I'm sure you feel similar, but it's not just like a shared interest anymore. It's, I know these people. I
Mm,
have a sense of their ups and downs and their triumphs and their
yes.
failures, things that keep them up at night and the things that they're really proud of. And therefore,
Yeah.
it does become less of a, hey, we all like painting miniatures. We all happen to like painting miniatures. But more importantly, we are this weird, messy family of people,
Yes.
and spending that time together is more vital. My fondest memories are, I think I've said this in the community, are of people from the community winning stuff, but not because, and it's not like, it's not contingent on them winning. It's knowing them and knowing their feelings on the matter, and supporting them, and all of those things make it that bit more special. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to seeing some of the faces that we saw last year, seeing some new faces. If you
Yeah.
have, because those were some of the most unexpected conversations for me last year, getting to speak to people like Erka, because we just, well, he came up and we just started chatting. So it's not knowing what conversations you're going to have as well, and what people you're going to connect with, and what stories you're going to walk away from it with, which is really quite spectacular. That's why I love comp. It's not tied to Golden Demon, but just going to these
No,
things
no,
in
in general.
general. Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Done. What are you painting?
Yeah, these days I'm painting for Golden Demon, but just not necessarily this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still uh knee deep in a tyrant, and I am about to wrap it up. So the model is done. Um, the the base is done. He's on, or almost completely done. He's on it. And now I need to decided to put some goblins on there, and I'm kind of fleshing out one of them now to see, do I like the colors, and so on and so forth. And I'll do a couple more because they are small,
Mm.
and then I can hopefully wrap that project up before going. Would be nice. So it's like a clean slate with the next thing prepped, which so I can, go back from Golden Demon, have a couple of days to, get back to normal, and then get into uh painting the next thing.
So do you know what that next thing is? Or
I
is it a
think I do.
mystery?
No, I think I do. I hope that the resin is to a quality that I can live with, because I ordered an old world um dwarf. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like one with a big axe, like they are.
I'll narrow it down.
Yeah, yeah. I think he's a fire slayer of some kind. I can't remember.
Is
But
it Ugrim Ironfist, the Slayer King of Crack? Is that to do with the big axe, or is it a different
he
guy?
has a huge axe, kind of like to the side, kind of
Yes,
thing.
he's kind of holding it,
Okay.
and he's got
Yeah,
a
yeah,
horned
yeah.
helmet. It's an expert kit. I'm pretty
No, I
sure it's that.
think.
I mean,
Well, whatever. But it's Yeah, I didn't. I'm sure it says somewhere, but I didn't really realize it was a resin kit. I just pressed some buttons and then it got delivered to me, and then I realized. So I haven't even taken it out of its packaging. But I
just
hope it's not horrible.
we will say a prayer to the resin gods that you get a good
Mm.
cast, and you don't have to do what I did with that goddamn robot, because I just finish you off for free.
Yeah, I will not be able to. I think the project dies before. Like that, if I have to put too much effort before even getting into the painting, it kind of, because it taps from the same pool of energy,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah, it really does. It
yeah,
really
yeah.
does. And there's one thing painting and finding a mold line. There's one thing like painter's like, this entire section needs to be remodeled. Oh no,
Yeah.
this is sad.
Yeah.
And then you have to put it
Yeah.
together, which is a different pile of shame. But hey ho, okay, we're so quite positive.
Yeah.
I know I'm finishing up an AOS single piece, which
Mhm.
I have loved so much. I am hoping to project actually some of my enjoyment of this project in, because you and I had a big old chat at Adepticon, and there's the video, the feedback session that you and I had with the Krieg that people can access on YouTube, which I do think is a good kind of like, hey, see what feedback's like. And since then, I took that one Krieg as a template and painted a unit. And
Mhm.
so keeping all of those kind of Krieg similar, obviously working on the weaknesses that you pointed out. But I think to really get into feedback, you have to, like, you need a new piece. This is how my brain works, is like really factor in feedback, really work through stuff. I need a new piece because it doesn't feel then like I'm building on past ideation or anything like that. I can just start afresh.
No.
So I finished the Krieg unit, and then I did the big robot because I was like, I'd want to try scale modeling. And so I couldn't necessarily apply much of the feedback
No.
to traditional painting to a scale modeling project. And so I was just like, I sat down, and you and Albert had told me the same things. You and Albert and many other people told me the same things. So it's like, this is the project. I'm going to really work on this. And God, it's just been fun. It's just been so much fun. It's not been challenging in the way that I thought it would be. It's just felt good, kind of exercise. The little Nurgle dude helps that it's Nurgle, because I just love Nurgle. I will forever love Nurgle. But yeah, taking inspiration and getting it painted. But I know after this piece, I need a Warhammer break.
Yeah. Yeah, you said already.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have felt a little bit on the Golden Demon treadmill, and I think that's a nice treadmill to be on. I really enjoy painting Warhammer, but when it's all you paint, you begin to think, okay, right, got this. So I'm gonna take a little bust break. I'm gonna paint one of my spirits.
Yeah.
I can't just keep collecting them. I got to paint one. And I'll maybe do a Gabby and just get paint on it, and then like, no, I need to paint it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'll go back to Warhammer, because I clearly like it enough that I'll just use my one break, and then go back.
Yeah, and we also kind of decided to go to Adepticon, so
Yeah.
it would be strange not to bring anything.
Yeah, unless like tomorrow they say no foreigners allowed in the US.
Sure. Well, that is a possibility always,
Yeah,
but
we we keep
until
our
then,
fingers crossed.
yeah, exactly.
Okay then, mindful of time. Have you been learning anything in those projects? You know, fuck up corner. Have you run into any challenges, or is there anything that you've really taken away from the Tyrant?
I think this one has been an exercise in me not buckling,
Mm.
me thinking, this is what I want to paint, this is what I want to create, so I do it. Um, Everyone, myself included, has said, well, there's something wrong with it in terms of how it's designed, which is not wrong because we're looking with the lens that says, well, it should go into a category, right? If your only scope is, well, it's fantasy painting, that can be anything, right?
Yes.
Then there's nothing wrong with it. Well, there might
It's
be things
perfect.
wrong with it. Well, there might be things wrong with it, but not in the same sense,
Yes.
right? Whereas if we're looking specifically like Golden Demon and categories, well, it's not quite fitting.
Hmm.
And that just means it is possible to create a thing that falls between categories. And for me to kind of stick, knowing that I'm going to put a lot of time into it, um, I already have. It's one of the longer projects for me, um, and have it not necessarily be very successful means that I kind of had to wrap my brain around. Okay, would I be okay with this possibly never doing well in anything?
Hmm.
Do I then still want to do it this way? Um, and it took a bit of thinking and making my mind up. So in the end, I have decided to go for, you know what, I want to paint it the way I want to paint it. And if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. That's okay for me. If it never moves uh, from the shelf, that's okay. If I decide to take it and it doesn't do well, that's okay. Um, but I think it was an important kind of like, okay, who am I painting this for, right?
Yes.
You
You're
know,
you're allowed to create art not through the lens of Golden Demon categories.
yeah, or sometimes you have a model and you think, I want to paint it in these colors, and it's like, yeah, but it's not correct in terms of whatever, whatever. And it's like, yeah, but it you're wielding the brush. You can just paint it however
Yeah, no
you
one can
want
stop
to,
you.
right? Not really,
The
no,
police
not
won't bang
really.
in the door and say, "What are you doing with that
No,
orange
no,
near
no,
that
no,
orc, you
no.
goddamn..."
And of course, you can always be punished. But I think it's healthy to kind of make up your mind and say, well, this is what I wanted to create. I'm delivering it in a quality that I wanted to. I painted it in like a style that I chose. These are the colors that I liked. This is the composition that was on my mind. And then, however it falls within awards, will become secondary because you already committed to these were my choices, right?
Yeah.
So I do think it's healthy to kind of step back a bit and be less focused on specifically creating something to take an award
Hmm.
and more creating something because you think it's fun or exciting.
Yeah, I remember you saying when we were initially talking about the piece when you first started, you're like, "This is how I see it in my head." And you're like, "Well,"
Yeah.
and I don't visualize things, and yet I'm seeing it in my head like this. So it's like,
Yeah,
"Oh
yeah.
yeah,
I had an idea, right? And uh, uh,
no, it's fun." I think one of my key takeaways in the moment is, and this is going to sound so goddamn basic, but like if you want to, I'm sorry to the people like, oh, I want the deep knowledge. It's like, no, this is the most obvious goddamn basic thing in the world. Is if you want to create a piece with high contrast, you have to be really comfortable with high areas, like high value areas being next to very low value areas. And
mm,
my historical issue has been, I got to blend these two, and then you make everything muddy and you lose all the contrast. And actually being able to say, no, this looks fine if you just put the high contrast area next to the low contrast area. Because,
yeah,
and again, this is going to be really obvious, if you take off your magnifying glasses and take the piece out of the painting light, it looks quite different.
it really does look quite different.
And so, yeah, I mean, something that you've been telling me and Eric Swinson hammered in his workshop, I'm finally doing many months later. This is how we shall improve.
I mean, there's also something to be said about you can get advice, but not be ready for it, right?
Yes.
You've had that the entirety of your life, probably. When your dad said, don't do that thing, and you did it anyways, and you didn't really understand. And then 5 years or 10 years or 20 years later, you're like, oh, goodness me, that was why.
Yes.
So you can absolutely have advice, but not be ready for it, right?
So I'm very sorry to my various painting daddies from over the years. I'm not listening to them, but I've fixed it now. Cool. Well, I think that's a pod.
Yeah, I think so.
3 weeks to go. We do have an interesting conversation with a someone of interest coming up before Golden Demon, so that will be in the podcast feed. But all that's to say is, if you've liked this, please let us know and leave a comment, which is always nice. I do read them, I promise. It takes some time, but I always get around to them. If you like the podcast series, if you've not a member of the community and you think this community sounds quite fun, do check us out on Patreon. The links are within the description. But if you are coming to Golden Demon, just come say hey. Just you will see us. We are often in branded shirts, which helps.
Yeah.
And I just love chatting to people about this. And if you come up to me, I will ask what you've brought, and I will ask you to show me it in the cabinets, because it is my favorite thing to do, and just gawp over the wonderful work that people have created. Any final words from you, Mr. Manners?
Nope. I think we wrap it here.
Perfect. Then until next time, all you wonderful people out there, have fun and paint something beautiful. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.